Well, this is a very peculiar way to start the episode. It seems that GG might have seen where I logged out last, and I just logged back onto the server. And you might not be surprised if I told you that this was not the first time that she has done this. This is actually one of the many times that she has done this, and I think that it's about time for us to get her back. And I think that there is a very good lesson for her to learn in all of this. And that lesson is, don't box somebody in with obsidian that has a whole lot more obsidian than you. I think you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. Over here at GG's area, she is not currently on the server at the moment, and hopefully she stays off of the server while I'm taking care of business and getting my revenge. But I don't exactly know where she logged out last, so I'm thinking instead I'll just fill up her entire sorting system room with obsidian. Alright, the giant obsidian block is looking good. Now, I did have an idea, and we're going to see. Maybe she has something that I can use around here. Ah, there we go. Ah, GG, you make it so easy. We're just going... Oh, Frankie. 1 diamond per stack. Name tag. Okay, I'm just going to take a few of these and borrow them. Sponsored by RSPilt. There we go. And I will make sure that she gets these name tags back. Now, how am I supposed to climb up here with all of this obsidian in the way? Oh well, here, I'll make some stairs. Perfect. There we go. Alright, so I'm thinking since this is nice and dark inside of here, I should be able to get some mobs to spawn. However, I do have crying obsidian here, and I think that this stuff puts off a pretty decent light level, so it's going to keep the mobs from spawning. However, down here at the end, it should be dark enough. That's quite a ways away. I'm just going to block this off, and let's see if we can't get a creeper to spawn in here. Alright, I'm not really having much luck with mob spawning inside of here, so I went ahead and opened up the very end of it. And I'm going to lead some creepers in, and hopefully this does not go horribly wrong. I do believe I'm going to have to break this portal real quick. That way they don't go into the nether. And I'm also going to have to remove these. That way they pathfind over this honey block also. Alright, it is the next night, and I'm going to go on an adventure and see if I can't find me some creepers. And hopefully I'm able to lure them back successfully. I just have to be very, very quick about this because she can literally log back in any minute. I will say, ever since the newest update, things just have not been rendering quite right, and we've also noticed these weird shadows that will come and go, even though there's nothing that's above us, which is very strange. However, we have a creeper here. Let's see if we can't give him a name tag without him blowing up. Ooh, there's another one. No, don't blow up, don't blow up. Go over here. Ooh, we got 3 of them. Come here, buddy. Oh, no. Oh, man. That was a waste of a name tag. Well, we did manage to get 1. I ended up making 2 new craters inside of the ground, which I'm going to have to come back and fill in. However, I do have 1 creeper that's name tagged over there. However, I'm just going to sleep real quick. That way, we don't have to fight all of these other mobs. And lucky enough for us, creepers don't burn inside of the daylight. Well, I kind of wish that they would, because then they couldn't like blow you up whenever you're in the middle of building something. But in this scenario, it's actually really nice. So he should be over here somewhere. Oh, I see his green little head popping up. And I don't know how that happened. Come here, buddy. Come on. Come on. Come this way. Mart shows 4 little legs. Come on. You want a golden carrot? You want a golden carrot? Come get the golden carrot. Come on, walk this way. Don't go over the campfire. Come on. Come on, there you go. Now we just gotta box him in. Alright, now I just need to fix the portal back. Fix this back the way that it was before. And put the concrete back. And relight the portal. And I think what I'm going to do before I leave is just fill in the rest of this. That way it legitimately looks like I filled up every single nook and cranny. And on the camera account, all of this is filled in for the most part with obsidian, aside from the sides. I'm really not that cruel. However, I don't want her knocking off any of her item frames or stuff trying to break the obsidian, so I've tried to steer clear away from that. And then we have our little buddy here in the center. Now I think in order to make this look even better, I'm just going to temporarily remove some of these trapdoors here. And some of the carpets as well, that way I can put some obsidian in here. I have a bad feeling that I'm going to have to help clean all of this up. And I think the only thing left to do is to just leave a little note. Oh, by the way, I'm RSBuilt and welcome back to another episode here on the Project Bedrock server. So even though it's only been a week since the last video, there has been a ton of stuff that's been happening inside of the marketplace here. And I have been so busy that I just have not been checking the stock in my shop. I have something on the ground here, but let's go ahead and check profits real quick. Ooh, we got 21 diamonds plus 6 diamond blocks. Let's put that all together and see. That's going to be 8 diamond blocks and 3 diamonds on top of it. Not too bad, I'll take it. Alright, let's check this out and see what we have here. We have redstone request. It reads, I was wondering about a automatic jukebox, but using a skulk sensor instead of a pressure plate or button. Heh, B-U-D-D-E-N, I already know who wrote this. I'll pay you very little, LOL JK, and will supply the parts needed. I'd like it underground near my shops if it is possible. GG. Well, that is very possible, and it's definitely something that I could take care of. However, it's probably not going to happen in this episode because I do have a few things that I need to get done. And as I have mentioned, also a lot of stuff to show you guys. To start things off, let's take a look at the Allay sanctuary that I was building in the last episode. I ended up adding a few more things to kind of go along with the lore here. There's a shovel, a compass, and even a lantern, and a small hole leading down inside. All of that's going to go along with the lore story whenever I finish all of that up, and it's very close to being complete. Anyways, if we go down inside of here, you will see that I have done quite a bit of texturizing as well, as the walls have a lot more detail to them. You might also notice that I ended up getting a skeleton skull here and placed some bones down on the ground as well. If you're wondering how this is done, this is basically a pack by Foxy No-Tell where you take a slime ball and you stick a slime ball to whatever item that you would like, and then you can stick the item to the ground, the floor, the roof, wherever you want really. And the nice thing is, as per Foxy No-Tell, is these are items and they are not entities, so they really don't contribute to lag, and they make a wonderful replacement for an item frame. This particular banner of the Allay was created by John RVF. And then we have this one over here that was created by Zerine or Serto. I hope that I'm saying their names correctly. Anyways, the link for both of these if you want to learn how to make these banners are going to be down inside of the description below. Feel free to drop by their channel and tell them thank you for such amazing banners. I also removed some of the ceiling tiles and placed in some rooted dirt along with some hanging roots as well, just to give it that little extra detail. And then that tunnel that's up above the surface ends up coming out here, which like I said is going to attach to the lore story. And there's eventually going to be a book and quill that you can find here, which is going to give you a lot of interesting details about the history of this place. I added a few more bits and bobs like the candles around this place just to kind of give it a ominous glow, and then we also have lighting up inside of the roof which is shining through slabs. And then over here we actually have a water block that's above the black stone blocks there that just occasionally gives a drip down here, which kind of looks like the fountain is leaking from down below. Just a little subtle hint of detail added. Aside from that, it doesn't really look like a ton has changed here. Well, not really on the surface, but behind the scenes there's been quite a bit that's changed, and I'll show you that in a moment. However, let me grab some of these diamonds that I packed away inside of here, and we'll go ahead and put these up inside of the wallet. And I'll be sure to grab my wallet and not leave it laying around. Actually, I'm going to keep all of those diamonds in my hand for now, just to show you guys this. And then I'll grab my wallet. Let's put that inside of the ender chest, that way it's nice and safe. Basically here we have a Allay dispensing system, or pretty much a Allay vending machine, if you will. These three guys are dancing in the center because I left a note block playing down below, and that's how we're going to be duplicating these guys. So if we read the book here, this will give you all of the instructions necessary in order to buy an Allay. We have on the left hand side, each Allay is 3 diamonds each, and each Allay comes with 1 fence post and 1 lead with every purchase. You're going to place 3 diamonds inside of the dropper on the right hand side. You're going to press the button on the left hand side to order an Allay. Wait for the tone to sound before ordering another Allay. And the Allay, the lead, and the fence will be dispensed above you. Be aware that the Allay can fly out of this area as there's nothing stopping it from going outside. Enjoy your big blue balloon. So it's all pretty straightforward and easy. What we need to do is place some diamonds in here. Oh, looks like I already left some diamonds in there from testing. Well, anyways, I'll throw some more inside of there. We have 15 there. Now, it doesn't matter if you put 3 in there or if you put more in there because the system will only take out 3 diamonds with the way that I have it set up. So if we hit this button, it's going to subtract the 3 diamonds. And then if we wait, we are going to have a tone that sounds. There's the tone that sounds, and then we have a lead come out, a fence post come out, and then we have an allay come out. And then we can take our lead, our fence post, and we can wrangle our allay, and then we can go about our way with our brand new friend. Well, I don't quite know where that allay flew off to, but anyways, let's move on. So let's say somebody wanted to trick the machine and get an allay for, let's say, 2 diamonds instead of 3 diamonds, or even 1 diamond. We will put 2 diamonds in, and then we can hit the button, and it's going to withdraw those 2 diamonds. Except it goes, wait a minute, that's not enough diamonds, and no transaction will ever take place. Well, if the person suddenly realizes, oh, well, I accidentally put 2 in there, and let me see what happens if I add 1 more, since the allays are 3 diamonds each. We'll go ahead and hit that button, and then it's going to process because you reached a total of 3 diamonds, and then it's going to accept the transaction, and you will get your allay. Now, as for going down below, I don't really have a way to go in there aside from spectator mode, so let's jump into spectator mode and I'll show you a little behind the scenes. Basically, we have a bunch of redstone here, and it looks like it is a big redstone mess. However, everything has its own thing that it's supposed to be doing. And this is what we have, which is responsible for processing our payment system. Right now, I could set this for a maximum of 5 diamonds to be subtracted. Or I could even move this block with the redstone down 1 to make a dual edge monostable circuit, and then that would theoretically allow me to have a maximum total of 10 diamonds that I could charge per allay. However, I wanted to leave it on 3 because 3 is a nice fair number. With the allays, I wasn't quite sure if people were going to duplicate them. I wanted to sell them for 1 diamond each. However, if somebody just buys 1 allay and then duplicates them from there, then I really can't make a whole lot of profit off of it. And if you ask me, I think that 3 diamonds each is pretty fair per allay anyways. So jumping out of spectator mode now that we are down here, it's kind of a parkour course to get around inside of here. However, since I built it, I gotten pretty used to it. Basically here we have a sorting machine here, which is an impulse SV sorting system. And then down below we also have another impulse SV sorting system, which is one on top of the other. So this one is responsible on the top for making sure that the only thing that ever goes into the system is diamonds. And then this one down here is responsible for keeping the blocker blocks that is inside of the third sorter from going down into the system as well. Down here we have our collection chest, which I have my diamonds in, which I can pull out. The third sorting system here is a custom sorting system. This sorting system is going to allow us to set how many diamonds we want to charge per allay. So basically, you add however many diamonds that you want inside of here until the redstone signal goes from a 1 to a 2, and then it will allow it to reach those repeaters. If I wanted to charge 5 diamonds per allay, then I would essentially remove 2 of these blocker blocks here, and then that would allow it to get 5 diamonds in before it goes to the 2 power of redstone signal. However, I would also have to correlate with the dropper system here and add in the other 2 pieces of redstone dust. That way all 5 of these observers are triggering the redstone dust, which is going to pulse that dropper up there 5 times to withdraw the 5 diamonds. Down here is where the magic happens, and this was kind of a pain to design. Now the carts and the corner trick, I've used this many times on villager breeders and stuff like that. It makes it really handy because the water pushes everything into the corner, and then as soon as you get a minecart that comes down here, it's going to bump off of this block, pick up whatever is inside of here, and then take it on its way. However, I figured in order to use it with the allay, it just needs to be 1 block high. That way they're only in a 1 block area and they're not allowed to fly up at all. So the way that we are duplicating these guys is beneath these trapdoors we have some minecarts that are full of allays, and these are basically our seed allays, if you will. Let me grab some amethyst shards here, and then I can show you how this works. These minecarts are surrounded by trapdoors. That way I can open these up and move those minecarts around if needed, because they do kind of get pushed around a bit, and sometimes they'll glitch through the trapdoors. That's mainly what I fought the most with whenever I was designing this farm. So up top here, we basically have carpets that are covering up the pistons down below, and that's going to keep us from falling in for the most part. And then if we reach down here through the gap, we're actually able to breed these guys from the top here. However, we are going to need some music in order to do so, so we can turn on some jams. And that's basically going to unlock that hopper that has a record in it, allowing it to go into the jukebox there. And then whenever it's done, it will be dispensed back into the water, back into the hopper, where it's going to wait in order to be pressed again. So now that these guys are breaking down on the dance floor, we can take our amethyst shards and we can go over them and duplicate them just like so. Now, as soon as we duplicate them, they are going to have a bunch of friends inside of the area with them. Now, these guys are not technically inside of the minecarts, only the seed allays are inside of the minecarts. So what we need to do is go up here, and then there is another button that we need to press, which is this one right here. And as soon as I press that, it's going to move those pistons back, which is going to move the walls out of the way, allowing the allays to fly up. And that also allows the water to go down and basically start to drown the allays inside of the minecart. Don't question my morals, it works very well, and it's only a brief second that they're actually underwater. As soon as the allay flies up, the timer circuit will release those pistons, and then it will push those walls forwards, which will in turn push the allays forward into the water to where they're going to go into a 1 block tall area, to where they're all going to be flushed towards the end, which you saw a bit earlier. Now this next part I'm going to have to be pretty quick in order to show you, and I'm going to have to jump into spectator mode as well, but this will dispense a cart, and this is powered whenever the system detects a payment inside of the system, and then it will basically launch a minecart. So if I push that button, a minecart's going to launch, and then I can jump inside of spectator mode. It's going to grab an allay, go all the way up here, and then as soon as it comes up here, it's going to hit that cactus, break that cart, and then the cart's going to be pulled back in down this hopper line, and then it's basically going to go down here and then back into the chest that holds all of the mine carts in order to be recycled once more. And then up here we basically have a water stream to where the allay is going to fly up, and as soon as it does, it's going to go inside of the water. And once it goes inside of that water, then it's going to be joined by 2 droppers, which is going to dispense a lead and also a fence post, and then everything's going to flow out here to the very end. And if you're wondering how I refill the leads and also the fence post, we have droppers up here, which we can access and place our leads back in there. And then on the other side here, we have a dropper that has fence post in it. Well, let's go ahead and move on from here, because I think that I covered just about everything that happened with the Allay Sanctuary since the last episode. However, there is a few more things that popped up inside of the shopping district, and one of the main things that I want to show you is something that we were actually working on stream, and I had a few more of the members come over and give me a hand, and it ended up being an amazing time collaborating with them. If you ever want to watch any of the collaborations take place, then that happens over on Tuesday nights around 10:30 EST, depending on my schedule, and that happens over on Twitch. All of the links for my streaming channel will be down inside of the description below. So this place as of right now looks absolutely horrible. We have chest monsters all over the place. We have a temporary furnace on the outside here. But what I really want to show you is this here. Now this was a building that I thought that the bricks would work absolutely terrific for. However, this is not going to be what I'm planning on using all of the bricks for. It just kind of ended up taking and consuming a bunch of my bricks. So I am going to have to AFK a little while longer on the clay farm. That way I can get a ton more bricks. And actually I think Gigi brought me some, which is really going to help me out. I'm going to have to find a way of repaying her. You know, something that's not a ton of obsidian. Well, at least she can keep it when she mines it all. As I was mentioning, we basically need something that we can smelt all of these bricks with, because we need to take the clay and then break it down into clay balls, and then take all of those clay balls and smelt them inside of a super smelter. That way we're able to basically make a bunch of brick blocks like we have here. With this, I ended up using this smelter here, which took a awfully long time. However, it does work, but I do want something that's going to be significantly faster. And I figured, well, while I'm at it, instead of making a personal smelter, I might as well just make a community smelter that everybody can use inside of the marketplace. Not just any community smelter though, I wanted a vision that I had inside of my head to be fulfilled, and I kind of got to thinking about it, and I'm like, well, what if we do maybe kind of like a crucible style or a giant furnace room style? And then I got to thinking more about it. Well, we can take conveyor belts and have the conveyor belts going into this giant smelting system, and then potentially feed all of our items inside of those conveyor belts. But halfway through that conveyor belts, the items would actually be pulled through the system, which would then go down below into a super smelter, get all smelted, and then they would pop back up on the opposite side of the discharge side of the belts, and then they would make their way into a collection chest, which I thought would be an absolute phenomenal idea. And thankfully, with enough head scratching, we were all able to make it come together and take place, and it's turned out absolutely terrific. Now, the inspiration for this building here came from a picture that I found online after doing a ton of searching. And the building that this is inspired by is going to be the plant that is inside of Detroit, Michigan, here in the United States. And this is a old Ford plant that I guess used to do vehicle production and stuff like that. However, this is a very shortened version of it. If you look at the side and the back side here, then you'll be able to compare it to the pictures of the one that's actually in Detroit, Michigan, and it is substantially shorter, and I really didn't need that big of a factory. Plus we have a giant warden in the way. So I figured that I would basically make it pretty much the way that it's supposed to be all the way up until here, and then cut it off there, and then put a wall on the back side. Another thing is I'm not quite sure that I'm happy with the squared windows inside of the center. I'm not quite sure. I might go back and add the stairs like the top ones and bottom ones have. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think inside of the comments below, and tell me what you would add to this. With that being said, this thing is really far from being complete, as there's a ton of texturing that I still have to do on the inside and the outside of the building. However, what I want to work on today is going to be inside of the building, and it's actually going to be the main part of it. Which, if we go down through the redstone in the back here, we have a little access, and we can go down to this room here. And inside of this room, you will notice that this super smelter is missing a super smelter, and that is going to be our project for today. However, before we get started placing a super smelter down here, I'm really excited to show you guys how this thing works. But before we get into doing that, I want to brush over the details that I've placed inside of this building real quick, because I'm really proud of it and I think that it's turned out amazing. Now on stream, me and GG and DSP all came over and we started building this and basically making a huge entrance to the smelter here. And this is where all of the items are going to be pulled into the smelter. And then it's going to be pulled in from a hopper minecart down below. And then once they're all smelted, it's going to be dispensed back on this conveyor belt, brought out here to where this piston's going to kick it off through this stair to be collected inside of this chest here. Now we can take some of this and we will fire this thing up here in a moment. However, I just wanted to go over this and show you guys all of the little details. And in order to do that, we will start from the top down. If we come up to the rooftop, we have a big tank here, and this tank is going to basically be our resupply of fuel. And we have it filled full of lava, which is then going to be plumbed down that pipe, which is going to make it down into a giant crucible. We also have a AC unit over here, which has some fans on top because, well, it's an AC unit and we need some fans, that way it works properly. Over here on the left hand side, we have 3 smokestacks to where all of the fumes from the giant furnace below is going to be pumping out, going out of the building. That way they're not being leaked inside of the building. And then we have the facade here from the front of the building. And then we can work our way on the inside. Now that you see the top of it, it will help the inside come together a little bit more. So as soon as you walk in, like I said, we have the entrance to the smelter there, the discharge to the smelter here. This up top is going to be a huge lava-filled crucible. And then the purpose of that crucible is going to be to fill up and hold the lava and to store it until it is able to swing across here through this track. And then over here we have a lever. As soon as we are ready to empty out the lava, then we can pull this lever and move it from the spot in which it gets filled, which is directly underneath the tank there. We also have a little detail on the filling spout. If you look very closely, it will occasionally drip with lava, which is a nice little detail showing that it fills up the crucible underneath it. Once that crucible is filled, it's going to move across this track all the way over to this side to where it is going to then have its spout directly placed underneath this area here, which is going to be where we fill the furnace full of lava. And then you'll just pull on that lever to fill up this entire system here. As you can see, it's already filled up, so we don't need any more lava at the time. And if we go around to the back side of this area, we will be able to get a better view from the catwalk here. We have stairs coming up here, and then we have a catwalk that goes all the way around here. And thankfully, the crimson wood is not flammable, although you will occasionally see a flame pop up on this block here. Don't know what that's about. It's kind of a bug. However, if you saw that flame, that is why it pops up, and you might even see another one pop up here shortly. Anyways, we have a ton of lava there that is waiting to be placed inside of here as soon as the furnace uses it all. Not really, but come on guys, you gotta use your imagination. Up top here, we have the other side of the ventilation system for the AC. We have the intake grills right here to where the air is going to go inside, and then we have the AC piping that's going to go all over the place here with a bunch of vents that are scattered throughout the entire factory. As I mentioned, this is all still very far from done, and we're all still working on the little details to make this build an absolute stunning build. We also have the windows where Gigi came over and helped me try out a bunch of different window designs, and we ended up falling onto this design here, which is just gray glass along with light gray glass. And it's nice because as an old factory, it kind of makes it look like the glass has a coating of dust on it. Now for what I think is the best part. Now, I don't know if I'm going to make the system turn on automatically or if we're just going to leave a lever or a switch or pressure plate on it. However, that's all going to be changed whenever we finally finish designing this. But for now, we have a lever that we can switch, which is going to turn everything on and turn on all of these conveyor belts, which you can see moving. This one moves in, and then this one's going to move out. They're made to look like they're connected, however, they're not actually connected. And then we have this piston here, which is going to eject all of our items. So on this chest here, we can load all of our items that we want to smelt inside of here. All of the items that are going into here is going to be pulled through the system at double hopper speed. And I made sure to maintain that all the way throughout the entire system, so there's no bottlenecks and everything will move at dual hopper speed. They're going to make their way around into a dropper, and then that dropper is going to perfectly center them over top of the belt, and then work their way into the furnace. We have a little bit of smoke that covers up kind of what's happening in there, but if you look very closely, you'll see that once they reach about that smoke in the center, that they're going to be withdrawn down throughout the conveyor belt. On the other side, they are going to come out, and whenever we have a smelter hooked up down below, then they're going to be coming out smelted inside of their smelted forms. And if you look at it through this angle, it looks really neat to where you can see it going in, and then it's going to have the smelted variations coming out the other side. Then once all of the items get over here to the end, then we have an ejection piston that's going to push those off into a stair, and then there's a hopper below that stair that's going to pull those in and place them down inside of our chest, which is also unloading at dual hopper speed. And if you're curious as to how this works, coming down here you'll be able to see both of these piston feed tapes moving around, and thanks to Bedrock Edition we're able to use movable tile entities, which gives it a nice touch because the blast furnace really has a nice top texture and a nice side texture as well for this. So on this side here, this is the side that actually intakes the items, and as soon as it gets over here, we have a couple hopper mine carts that's going to pull the items off of the conveyor belt down through here at double hopper speed, and it's going to bring it all the way down here into what's going to be the super smelter. Now this is just hooked up for testing purposes, and it just routes around to our dropper elevator, which is going to bring the items up once they are smelted all the way to this side here, which is going to drop them into a series of hoppers, which is going to feed them into a dropper, which is facing straight up underneath that belt that's moving above it, which is going to push those through the belt and onto that conveyor belt to make their way into the collection chest. And something else that was really odd that we found out whenever we were building this is there's kind of a bug with the blast furnaces. Whenever they're moved, they kind of go crazy. And this seems to be the only block that does it. Well guys, let me know what you guys think about the smelting system. It really came out amazing and I could not be more thrilled with it. And a huge shout out to GG and DSP that came on and gave me a hand throwing this thing together too, as it was much appreciated, and it is always really fantastic to see what all of our imaginations are going to be able to create together. With that being said, I think that I'm going to be inside of this pit for a while, so let me do a little bit of cleaning up, a little bit of resource gathering, and then let's jump into a time lapse. Let's go. Wait a minute, cut the music. Well, I was just going to go and gather up some stuff to do this furnace array, but Juchi just logged on, and I'm going to head over there and see what happened. Well, look what the cat drug in. Did you spawn inside of your storage room? I was hoping that you logged out there.
I did. I spawned in there, and of course, half of it wasn't rendered in yet. So I thought that was the problem. And then just before I died, I realized I was like encapsulated in obsidian.
Oh man, that's amazing. Man, I nailed it. I figured that you were going to log out in there because that's typically where I've seen you log out in the past. But man, that was perfect. Did you get a chance? Did you get a chance to read my sign?
Yes, I did. When I came back out after I respawned, I saw it and saw the wooden pickaxe.
Yeah, I left you, which I didn't actually record the part with the wooden pickaxe. I thought of that as an afterthought, and I went back and I didn't put that in my video. And I figured that you needed a pickaxe so you could mine all of this obsidian.
And a beacon.
I figured that you would just change your jump boost beacon, but
it doesn't reach all the way back to the back.
Oh, really? Normally you can bounce it, but with obsidian that might be difficult to do.
This only takes a second.
Yeah, I guess it does whenever somebody has 15 million iron blocks. All right, well, Toodles, have fun.
Oh, thanks.
Oh man, do you need help cleaning it up?
No, I got it. I didn't help you clean up your mess. I left you.
Really? That's not. Have you seen? Have you even seen it? Like, did you even look around?
All of the obsidian and crying obsidian?
Well, yeah, that's definitely not hollow. Well, I mean, it,
No.
it could potentially be hollow, but only in a certain part of it.
Oh, really?
Yep, sure is.
Not, not the spot where I spawned, though.
No, I wasn't exactly sure where you spawned, so it sounded like you were destined to die.
It does. I haven't been doing that enough the past couple of days.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I almost died earlier by flying into a wall. I got myself down to like a half a heart.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was actually hoping that you didn't log out. That way you could come into this side, and then that's all you would see.
That was just funny, even though I didn't log out.
So did we learn anything? Not to pick on somebody that has a whole lot more obsidian than you do? You forgot that I have a piglin bartering farm, huh?
Yeah, I kind of mentioned that earlier when after I got my stuff, after I retrieved my items.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, I'm just glad that you didn't lose your items, because that's what I was worried about. I figured that you were going to suffocate on the wall, and then you're going to, not be able to find a pickaxe to get back in there to get your stuff.
I just went into spectator and figured out where it all was and took the cords down and then went up, grabbed stuff out of my ender chest and went up and dug my way down to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't look in there in spectator mode, because there might be a person in there. Okay, bye!
No!
Ow!
Alright,
Ow!
here we go.
Instant karma, I landed on your campfire. Alright, where were we? Oh yeah, time lapse. Roll that music. Let's go! And now a room that once was empty is now filled up with a pretty massive super smelter. I ended up placing my 72 furnace super smelter inside of here. However, I did do some redesigning to make it work inside of here. The current super smelter that I have on a tutorial, that is currently broken due to a bug on Minecraft Bedrock. Imagine that, a bug on Minecraft Bedrock. The bug that ended up breaking it inside of my tutorial was the switching rails. Instead of switching and the minecart following the rail around like it's supposed to, it would jump over those rails to continue going straight. And for some time now, the minecarts on the Bedrock edition have been really buggy. So to fix that problem, I ended up looping the track all the way around to where the minecart has to make a complete loop all throughout the entire super smelter, and then it returns to home base in order to be loaded with materials and fuel again. This has two different hopper minecarts that are running down these tracks. One is going to be for the fuel, and the other one is going to be for the items. Now the way that the loading system is designed to work on this is these pistons will push forward, which will keep the hopper minecarts from going forward, and it's going to stop them. That way they can stop inside of these chests and pick up all of the items that are inside of here, just like this. Now inside of this one we have a bunch of lava coming in. I'll go more into that here in a second. And then on this one, this is where all of your smeltable items are going to end up in order to be picked up. Now these pistons are temporarily powered with a etho hopper clock down below, and it has a very short delay. However, this is just for testing purposes, and I'm going to be putting in detector rails in making the system more intelligent. That way it can run full carts of items as often as possible. So every single bank of furnaces is going to have a hopper line underneath it being single hopper speed, and that should be more than sufficient for that bank. And then it's all going to feed into a line of hoppers, which is going to take every one of these banks and then turn them into dual hopper speed, which theoretically should be enough to flow all of the items out of these furnaces and into the collection system. All of the hoppers are going to flow into that dropper elevator that you saw before that's going to take it up to the conveyor belt. Now you might wonder how I got all of those lava buckets over here, and the answer to that is going to be from the lava farm. And I ended up plumbing a line from the lava farm all the way over to here. However, I did run into a few different issues, so I think the best way to show you that is going to be to jump into spectator mode and show you exactly what I did. So over here at the lava farm, we have a switching valve now, and that's going to allow us to switch between the old line of hoppers and the new line of hoppers. And then it's going to send everything down here into this dropper elevator. Again, this is all temporarily and will be wired up appropriately soon. However, whenever all of the lava buckets go into here, they're going to be spit down this ice stream, which is going to go all the way down here, align up against these chests, and then they are going to make their way over here into a temporary storage system that is going to collect them at dual hopper speed. And then it's going to have roughly 6 double chests worth of storage room for all of those lava buckets since they are non-stackable items. Whenever the farm is in need of more lava, then it's going to dispense those down this ice stream, which is going to carry these all the way over here, up this bubble column, and then it's going to make its way into this chest here, which is again double hopper speed. That way we're able to keep up with the volume of lava buckets coming in, and then those are all going to go into the storage chest in order to store all those lava buckets to be used with the furnace. Now, as of right now, I have the sending system hooked up to this lever here, and this lever is just going to lock the dropper system over here. And then as soon as we hit that lever, it's going to unlock the redstone for the auto dropping circuit, and then that dropper is going to drop all of the lava buckets down that ice stream in order to be collected by the smelter. Now I will be hooking up additional redstone here to these hoppers over here at the super smelter, and this is basically going to be a send and receive circuit. So whenever it senses that these hoppers are full, then it's going to kill the power to this dropper circuit and essentially cut this off. And then that's going to allow these to be filled up with lava buckets. And then whenever that takes place, we are going to have redstone coming from this to notify this circuit over here that those chests are full. And that will essentially cut off this dropper circuit here and allow all of the lava buckets to accumulate inside of the main lava bucket storage to be used for both farms. The sending and receiving circuits will definitely be necessary because the last thing that we want to do is take a bunch of lava buckets and send them into an unloaded chunk to where they're probably going to be deleted. And that's why we have that secondary storage that's halfway through, because whenever you're standing at this farm, the super smelter is just outside of the bounds to where it's not going to be loaded. So we have that secondary staging system to where it's going to temporarily hold all of the lava buckets, and then as soon as you go over to the super smelter, as soon as you start to use it, will be able to send a signal in order to request more lava buckets. Well, what do you guys say that we test this thing out? I ended up finding some copper down below inside of the gold farm, so we're just going to throw this inside of there. I'm not quite sure whose copper it is. However, I'm going to leave it already smelted inside of this collection chest for them. And then we can turn on the conveyor belts. And you can see all of that copper is going up to where it's going to fall down onto that conveyor belt and work its way inside of the furnace array. Here comes all of the copper and also the empty lava buckets coming down the conveyor belt. And they're all going to be pushed off that conveyor belt into the collection chest down below here. Now all of these buckets I am going to be putting in a sorting system and basically the same exchange system. That way they all get pushed back to the lava machine. And I'm probably going to have to do the same thing to where there's a staging system. However, because the lava buckets stack to 16 instead of being non-stackable, it's not going to require near the amount of storage that the lava buckets do. With that being said, we are all out of recording time for today, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the super smelter design inside of the comments down below. We all three worked very hard on it, and I think that it came out amazing. If you feel like this video deserved a like, then please drop a like down below, as it really does help out the channel and it helps new people find my content. If you have yet to subscribe, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the bell notification. That way you don't miss any of the awesome videos that I upload, like these. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.